Good morning everyone and welcome back. Unfortunately though, it is too good. It is just another hot stinking day here in the Waikato. Things are browning off severely. Tomorrow is actually the first day of March and that means we are well over 2 months without any significant rain. We'll be coming up to almost 2.5 probably. There was a little bit of rain or showers forecast for tonight, which didn't look like we were going to get much, but just anything at the moment will help, especially the low country. And I've just looked at the weather forecast and it is gone. There's nothing in the forecast for the next sort of 10 days. So things are getting pretty desperate, to be fair. However, I do have Matty and Leigh coming to have a look at the maize, because in the last week it has dried off really quickly, severely to say. Oh, look at this, good timing. Hello, Leigh, Matty, how are we?
Yeah,
Should we go and have a look at it?
nah, we thought we'd...
You can see it from here. You can see it from here.
Looking good, mate.
What do you reckon?
It's maize.
It's browned off, eh? Big time.
Yeah, mate, around here we have quite strong moisture deficit,
Yeah.
to put it plainly.
So the boys actually came out last Friday, a week ago.
Yep.
And then you reckon it was about a couple of weeks off, eh?
Yeah.
But since then, yeah, it's just burnt off way
Yeah,
quicker than we thought. You can see here, like, it's just looking real brown. Look at these cobs, they're going. Where'd you go, Towers?
What are you targeting, like dry matter wise?
I'd love to get about 36.
Some of it will be.
Yeah.
Some of it will be 32 and some of it will be higher.
Yeah, well that's the thing. It's gonna be a bit of a mixture. I just don't want to get it too dry.
There's plenty of moisture in there. So when you've got moisture and green, you've still got photosynthesis, which means you've still got starch dry down.
Oh yeah.
Right, so when you're looking at it, this is the first indicator of maturity is your sheath.
Yep.
Of your cob. So that's starting to brown off, which means that we're starting to run out of juice and reach like physiological maturity is the right word. But if you've got green around these sort of 3 or 4 leaves around the cob, then you've still got starch dry down.
Oh yeah.
If that starts to go, you don't really get what can happen is you can be half starch and your kernel will just black layer.
Oh yeah.
But this has still got a lot of life in it. Having said that, we are drying down quick.
Yeah.
So if I was to look at this now, you know, just this one plant, I would suggest 34%.
Oh yeah.
But then if it's a week, it could be 38 by the time you get back. So it's one of those, like, we look at a spot and we're making an assessment and then we have to go to the next spot and then
Yeah,
average that
exactly.
out over the...
I'd say this is quite a green area through here too.
You reckon?
Yeah. Up at the other end, it's pretty brown.
You just have patches, eh? Patches of green, patches of dry.
Yeah.
And this is probably a greener patch, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be down. There's a bit of size in that cob though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a lot more moisture availability, I would suggest. So the cob's, you know, at V6 it's gone, I can support a bigger cob.
Yeah.
So that's when you're sort of how round your cob, like I said at the start of the year, is determined now. And then the length is determined between V6 and V12. So
Oh yeah.
6 leaf and 12 leaf.
Oh true.
So you've got good conditions through then, you've got plenty of moisture and heat units. And that can change from here to 10 metres away as well. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's good route. 16 around, which isn't too bad. Yeah, there's a lot of milk in there, eh?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's obviously 2 factors: trying to maintain quality while maximising yield. A lot of studies have shown anywhere from 32 to 38% dry matter is good silage, but we sort of try to hit that 34 to 38 average, which I think you're in that window now.
Oh yeah.
In terms of,
I'm in a little bit of a predicament because I'm going away on Sunday for a week, and I don't get back till Friday. So it's either harvest tomorrow, which I have booked in for, or harvest in a week's time. So
I'd err on the side of caution
and go earlier.
Yeah, because the thing is if we don't get any moisture and we have this hot weather,
well, it's not looking like we're going to.
You could go 0.75% a day. So by the time you get back, 38. They have a breakdown, or you know, something happens and they don't get here for an extra day.
You're pushing 40.
Where this is good milking tucker, it'll fill the bunkers up that would be my suggestion this year.
Yeah.
Last year, different story. Long window,
Yeah,
slow
I
dry
know.
down.
Such a different story last year.
Yeah.
I'd rather put it in a little bit green too, just because of it just packs down so much better. And yeah, I don't know. Ideally, yeah, anything above 36 would be not, or 30 around 36. But it is going to change. Like, you wait till you get up the top end, like, it's just the headland's brown as.
Yeah.
I didn't walk too far into it, but yeah, it's way browner than what it is down here.
Headland's always dry too.
Yeah.
Cop a bit more.
Yeah, although it is a little bit higher up the top.
Yeah. I mean, we cut that trial this morning of yours.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and there were certainly variances through the different hybrids we had in there.
Oh, right.
But as a rule, they were quite consistent.
Oh, yeah.
But a bit more sheltered up top there.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Similar to the last one. So, I mean, the
It's
good
all
thing
going to
is
be
it's
the same.
consistent.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this season it's probably drier than it looks. So, like last season, I would have said this was 33. It might be 35 now.
maybe it is best just to get it off, and at least once it's in the pit, it can't.
Good thing
Can't
about
go over.
Maize silage is right. There's like a yield curve. So 32, it's still quite sharp. 34, it starts to flatten off, and when you get to 38, it sort of peaks. 38 to 40, and then once you get over 40, it can drop, but your dry matter percentage goes up, but your quality and stacking is harder. Too much air.
Yeah.
So you can ensile maize anywhere from 30 to 42% depending on the year. So as long as you're within that window, that sort of cancels that barrier out. It's maximising yield, which is profit per hectare in terms of cost, and lowering that is yield. But quality, if the cows don't eat it, then that yield is offset, and it doesn't ensile well, and you lose some at the stack phase. So this will ensile well. It's got enough starch in it to be quality product. So and ME and maize is really flat. Anywhere from 10.5 to 11.5 ME roughly on average, but your starch content can be driven by dry down.
And once it gets to 40, which I'll show you soon because I bought some in that's 40, it gets very spongy and
still, just takes, you need more time, roll it longer.
Yeah.
Often tell people when it's dry, if you've got your own tractor and they leave, just roll it yourself for a couple of hours, because a couple of hours is a short amount of time to save you 3 or 4% of that top layer. But no, this will make good quality stuff, mate. So
yeah, I'd still be right. I think it's far enough along that we can go, but it could wait a little bit longer. But I just haven't.
If you were here next week,
yeah,
I would say 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
Sort of mid next week.
Yep.
But what's for the sake of 3 or 4 days, it's not going to be a major.
3 days too short rather than 3 days too long.
It's way better, yeah.
Yep. Who books a boys trip at the start of
well, to be fair, last year you would have been fine.
I know. I know. Well, I wasn't supposed to be ready till mid-March, but
yeah. We're about 10 days, 2 weeks, depending on soil type, ahead of maturity.
Yes. It's amazing that we get a crop like this with 2.5 months of dry weather. Like, it's amazing we can get a crop like this. But yeah, the cob's probably like not a bad cob. It's hoping for maybe a little bit longer, but condition wise, yeah, I guess it has been hard on it.
Drought conditions, mate. It's like, so we haven't had decent rain for 2.5 months, and that's really your grain fill. Like, you see your kernels are
like kernel
around was good.
Yeah.
So that means V6 or 6 leaf we had good conditions. Length was challenged, so that means we started getting a challenge probably around V8, V10 to
What
V12.
was that? That would have been Christmas time, would it?
Yeah, just before early December.
Which is where it got real windy, so yeah.
But having said that, the kernel and the cob is the quality, and then the plant is basically the bulk.
The filler, yeah.
You've got good plants, nice and tall. There's a lot of volume here. The more I see, the more comfortable I am with the harvest tomorrow.
Yeah, there's definitely some dry areas around.
North facing though, eh?
Yeah, this is pretty badly north facing, this one.
That one, mate.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually a pretty good cob. Far out.
Shows you the variance, mate. That could have just emerged a day ahead of that one. So it's, how it's slightly smaller.
That hasn't got a second cob on it either, does it? So
I started to throw one, and then what it does is it'll abort that first when it comes under stress.
And put it back into here.
Here. So
that's actually a really nice cob.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm going to ask every maize rep what they don't want to hear.
Yes.
Yield wise, what is it?
Yeah, good. Relative to your grass, it's fantastic.
It is, but I'm thinking it is so hard to say standing what it's going to yield, but I think over 20 I'd be happy.
I think I'd be comfortable around there. I mean, the challenge is moisture. It takes about 25 mils of moisture for about 1 tonne of maize silage, and that's from the sky or the soil. So you might have hit some in the in the profile before, but it's that challenge period is we need a third of that moisture around tasseling, and that's when we probably were getting into some moisture deficit.
Yeah, anything over 20 this year would be a win for me, I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, it's all relative to grass growth, right? They grew heaps of grass growth last year. Maize was good.
Exactly.
Similar conditions. We had more radiation this year, but less moisture. So. And
at the moment, Holt is telling me I'm growing 7 kilos a day, so.
Don't use it all at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It takes me a lot to grow a bit at the moment.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, you're off to, when are you off to Scotland?
May 20 something. Yeah, go play sevens in Scotland. So
for Te Amutu up at Melrose, eh?
Yeah, we're not professional sevens players by any mean, but
and the good thing is that Matty needs to get in shape for that, so he's going to come and help me cover my stack tomorrow too.
I'm flat out on the weekends, mate.
yeah. Well, that was good catching up with Matty and Leigh. It's definitely reinforced my thinking that tomorrow is a good day to go for it. I did buy in a little bit of maize, so this came in, I think it was last week, but this stuff here, this is at 40% dry matter, and it is just really spongy, and that's what we were saying before. It's just so hard to pack down, whereas where the dry matter is a little bit less and it's a bit greener, it is easier, and compaction's not so much of an issue. I was getting about 2.7 tonne in the mixer wagon of the stuff I had in the pit. And this new stuff, I'm only getting about 2 tonne in there before it's just, well, I run out of space. It's just too big and spongy and fluffy. So yeah, that really goes to show the difference. This stuff though, it just smells so incredibly sweet. It's got such a nice smell to it. That's 2.1, and you can see how much is sticking over the top. I just heard a weatherman on the radio say that our next chance of rain is at the end of March, which is a month away, so that is pretty depressing. However, I suppose I need to get this pit ready for tomorrow. Today's Friday and I'm going away early on Sunday. I have to go to Auckland. I'm flying down to Invercargill because I'm going to Stewart Island for our annual boys trip for, well, until Thursday, back on Thursday. So that's why I couldn't do the maize when I got back, and I wanted to get it done before I left. It's a little bit niggly because Dad's away at the moment. Him and Mum are cycling down on the west coast or something, and they're not getting back till late Monday. So I had to organise a leaf milker. Buck's coming down soon to see how I feed out, because he's going to feed out for me. We don't actually go away very often when one of us isn't here. We cover each other. But yeah, it's a little bit niggly that this one crossed over, but however. Looking pretty clean already. I'd really like to layer the sides or put plastic up there, but it's just getting windier now. It's a little bit weird, like there's something building just over there. You can see sort of how dark it is. We're kind of on the edge of it. I don't know whether it'll bring any rain, or somebody will probably get rain, whether we do or not. I don't know, who knows. It's so localised, these downpours. But I was speaking to Bills, and I'm the first job tomorrow, so the boys should be, or boys and girls should be here at about 8, I think, and 10 hectares should knock it out by about 3 o'clock. But apart from that, see you next time.